All right, let's dive into Myanmar culture today.
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah, we're going deep, like beyond the tourist stuff.
The real deal.
Exactly. We're using an episode of the Learn English Now podcast with Alexa and Alex as hosts.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
They get into the everyday life in Myanmar.
Nice.
And one thing that really stood out to me was how important respect is,
Oh, yeah.
especially for elders.
Uh-huh.
It's not just a quick hi.
No.
It's like younger people bowing or even kneeling.
Wow, that's serious respect.
It really is.
It shows how much they value family, right?
Absolutely.
Like the wisdom and experience of the older generation.
Definitely. And they see it as crucial for keeping the family in harmony.
It makes sense. Putting the family first, the collective good.
That's a great way to put it. That harmony theme runs through so much of Myanmar culture.
It does.
And it's even visible in things like their clothes, the longyi.
Oh, that traditional garment.
Yes, both men and women wear it. It's almost a symbol of Myanmar.
So practical and comfortable, too, I bet.
Yeah, it really shows their cultural identity.
A connection to tradition.
Right.
And it's everywhere, you see.
Oh, and the food. They eat with their hands.
Really?
Yeah, it surprised me at first,
I can imagine.
but they believe it makes the food taste better, like more senses involved.
That's interesting. Like you're connecting with the food more directly.
Yeah. Speaking of connecting, family is huge in Myanmar.
I've heard that.
Multiple generations living together is common.
Wow, that's amazing. Imagine the bond they have.
So strong. Grandparents raising the kids, passing down stories.
Keeping those traditions alive.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And speaking of traditions, they have such cool music and dance.
Oh, I love traditional music.
In the podcast, they talked about the song, kind of harp.
Bret Hart.
Yeah, and the way their arts tell stories from their history and beliefs.
Like a living history book.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Oh, and have you heard of metta?
Metta rings a bell.
It means loving kindness.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember now.
It's a Buddhist idea, being kind to everyone.
Makes sense with the Buddhism being so prominent in Myanmar.
Yeah, like in their temples and pagodas.
Those beautiful structures on the hillsides.
So peaceful.
A symbol of their spirituality.
It's woven into their daily life, even though many people still live in rural areas. Farming, especially rice.
Ah, so the land is crucial for them.
Definitely, it shapes their culture.
The rivers, the climate,
It all connects.
and influences their food too, right?
Oh, yes. We can't forget the food. Mohinga, rice noodles and fish soup for breakfast.
This sounds delicious.
And tea leaf salad, spicy and unique.
What a mix of flavors.
Food is such a great way to experience a culture.
It really is. Each dish has a story.
Speaking of stories, their education system is fascinating.
Oh, how so?
Schools are often near monasteries,
Interesting.
and monks might even teach the kids.
Wow, a mix of spiritual and academic learning.
And boys and girls can even become monks or nuns for a while
Really?
to learn discipline and kindness firsthand.
That's an incredible experience.
It shows how Buddhism is so important,
Yeah.
but there are other traditions too, woven together.
Like what?
The way they respect monks for their simple life,
Makes sense.
and the use of flowers like jasmine and lotus from purity,
Such beautiful symbolism.
and their unique art forms. Yoke-thay, puppetry, and chinlone, a sport all about skill, not just winning.
Right, it's about creativity and tradition.
Exactly. And even their architecture adapts to the environment.
How so?
Houses on stilts to avoid flooding.
Wow, that's smart.
It shows their connection to nature.
It's like their culture is always adapting.
It is. And there's even more. Traditional arts and crafts, incredible hospitality for guests, storytelling as a way of life, astrological beliefs based on your birthday, and vibrant full moon festivals.
It's so much to take in.
I know, right? So much depth and diversity.
We're just scratching the surface here.
Exactly. But we'll dive deeper into all of this and more right after the break.
And it's not just for show, all these traditions.
I was just thinking that, like, what's the deeper meaning?
Well, think of it like a tapestry. These customs, the beliefs, the rituals,
A tapestry, I like that.
they all create a sense of belonging, a connection across generations.
Like living history, but so much more vibrant.
Exactly. And speaking of history, the diversity within Myanmar is amazing.
Right, over 135 ethnic groups. It's mind-blowing.
A world within a country, each with their own language, customs, traditions.
Do any specific examples come to mind?
Well, the Shan people, for instance, they have this festival called Phong Da-U.
Fonda'u.
Yeah, with these incredible boats, all decorated, carrying Buddha statues across a lake.
Wow, that sounds beautiful.
A real display of faith and artistry.
I bet the food is diverse, too.
Oh, absolutely. You have shan noodles in the north, Hmong curries in the south.
It's a culinary adventure.
Each region with its own specialties passed down through generations.
It's incredible. And what about traditional medicine? I remember Alexa and Alex mentioning that.
Oh, yes. It's still very much respected there.
Like working alongside modern medicine.
Exactly. They see the value in both.
So the traditional healers, with their herbs and remedies,
They're still sought out for their holistic approach.
it's a balance between old and new.
A recognition that they can coexist.
And then there's their literary tradition.
Ah, yes, those ancient texts written on palm leaves.
Imagine holding one of those. It's like touching history.
Yeah, they hold stories, teachings, poetry,
A glimpse into their soul.
and not just entertainment.
No.
They convey values, beliefs, lessons.
It's like a conversation across time.
Exactly. And before we move on, I want to emphasize the hospitality in Myanmar culture.
Oh, yeah. Alexa and Alex couldn't stop talking about it.
Guests are treated with such respect, welcomed into homes, offered food and drink.
It's like you're instantly part of the family.
That warmth, that generosity, it's something special.
It really makes you think, what can we learn from a culture like that?
In our world, so fast-paced, so focused on material things.
What if we prioritized harmony, respect for elders, connection to nature?
What if, indeed? It's a question worth pondering.
It really is. This whole deep dive has been eye-opening.
Me too. It makes you want to learn more, experience it firsthand.
I'm even thinking of trying to make some mohinga.
I might join you. And for those interested in the spiritual side, definitely explore metta.
That loving kindness, it's such a powerful idea.
It can enrich our lives no matter our background.
So consider this deep dive just the beginning.
There's so much more to discover in Myanmar.
And we'll keep exploring those wonders together. Makes you think, doesn't it?
What's that?
Well, in our world, everything's so fast.
Right, always rushing.
Focused on stuff, on having more.
Yeah, on getting ahead.
But then you see a culture like Myanmar with their emphasis on harmony, respect for elders.
That connection to nature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, are we missing something?
It's a good question to ask, for sure.
Like, what if we shifted our priorities
What if we focused on, I don't know, inner peace?
instead of material things?
Yeah, or what if instead of competing all the time,
We tried to collaborate more,
find that balance?
like they do in Myanmar.
It's a different way of looking at things.
It really is. This whole deep dive has been, I don't know, eye-opening. It makes me want to learn more about Myanmar.
Me too. Go beyond the surface.
And maybe even visit someday.
That would be amazing.
I'm even thinking of trying to make some of that mohinga.
Oh, yeah, the fish noodle soup.
Yeah, why not? And for anyone listening who wants to explore the spiritual side,
Definitely look into metta.
that loving kindness, it's a concept we could all use a little more of.
It's about being kind, not just to those we like, but to everyone.
Even those who are different from us.
Exactly. It's a challenge, but a worthwhile one.
So think of this deep dive as just the beginning.
A starting point for your own exploration.
There's a whole world out there waiting to be discovered.
And so much to learn from different cultures.
We've just scratched the surface of Myanmar.
But hopefully we've sparked your curiosity.
To go out and learn more, to experience new things.
To keep those minds open.
That's what the deep dive is all about.
Until next time, keep exploring.